not actually any people waiting, so I'm just gonna hang out here for a second. I've got Mr. Kitty, aka the Cute Thief Mark II. he might join in for a little bit. He doesn't look too amused. What do you reckon? You can answer some questions. Yeah, I really should have advertised this a little bit more, but yeah, I didn't know I was going to be live this week. I really did get in the way a little bit, which happens when you do adult stuff like move house and do loads of DIY, I guess. But it's better to make a video than no video. I think some people appreciate the live chats. Hey, here we go. James, how's it going? I'm glad you could join me. Hopefully a few other people will join me as well, but you're currently one of the first. But like I said, hey Nicholas, how's it going? Like I said, life is getting away. Loads of DIY going on at the minute. You may notice the office is looking a little bit better than last time. I may have a certain light, a logo hanging up there. Ride with Chris. Merry Christmas, Chris. How's it going? Once this office is done, you'll get a tour because there's some pretty interesting things in here. I've got a desk which may or may not go up or down. Where's the right button? Oh, it's switched off for some reason. That's bad timing. I've got something above the desk there, which is really interesting. Nice bit of wall art. I think you guys would like to see it. Plus my computer setup. People love to know what computer setup I use to edit videos, so I'll let you guys know at some point. Nicholas, what do I think about the grey new foreplay? Brill, looks great. I've ridden a fairly understated colour inspired for the last year, so I'm more for the brighter colours in a minute, hence the red hex, which I just built up recently. But if you like the more muted colours, I think grey is a really nice colour. I'm not so into white for bikes, but grey, that's pretty nice. Hey, Cute Thief is literally just he's on the radiator shelf right next to me here. I got it for him as a gift. Because radiator shelves look amazing, super warm, super comfy, and he loves it. I'm stoked. Alright, so I've got a few more people joining me. Glad you guys could join me. Sorry for kind of having such a last minute live video here. Pretty much just life is getting in the way. Like I said, some of you guys say you appreciate the live videos, so why not? Why not? Better than no video. So, oh my goodness, too much for you to handle. Thank you so much. I could always forget that you can donate money with these. I'm not going to be here sat saying, give me money, but that is really appreciated, so thank you so much. Yeah, very few people do trials here, help the sport to thrive. I try my best with these videos, to be honest with you. These videos are as much for me to have something to do. That was like a flipping hair commercial there. These videos are as much for me to do something, to fill my time, help me make a living, but I also want to share my journey and show that trials is accessible. Anyone can ride trials. You don't even need a trials bike like I showed with my GT bike. My GT was my first ever trials bike, and that was just a cross-country bike with rubbish brakes. So yeah, I'm hoping, where are you, dude? Loanis? I'm hoping more people get into trials where you are. But I think just in general, the world over, certainly in the UK, where I'd say it's one of the biggest trials meccas in the world, trials isn't as big as it used to be, but things tend to go in waves, so maybe it will come back. I'm sure it will. Let's see, I'm just going to read some of your comments for a second, guys. I will try to answer as many as I can, but you guys are really good with the questions, so some of them may get missed. I apologise for that. So let's kind of a look through here. Eric, how's it going? Nice to see you here as well. James Mincher, can I believe the price of IRC Elgato and Cujo tyres on eBay these days? No, I can't, honestly. With the retro bikes I've been building, I've wanted some retro tyres. Like I mentioned with my GT bike that I built for last week's video, my first ever upgrade I did on a bike was the tyres to some IRC Cujos. Elgatos weren't out then. I wanted to get some. I'm not paying £300 for a pair of tyres. That's crazy. And they're not even, like, compared with today's tyres, today's standards, not even that good. But, you know, they look cool. I wish more tyres had red walls like they did. Harris Mackenzie just bought an Onza Trials bike, rear wheel and free hub is knackered. Is it worth fixing or just buy a new wheel? That's a tricky one. Depends how knackered they are. If they just need new bearings, that's not too bad. But if the bearing races are pitted and knackered, new bearings are still going to feel really rough. So it depends what your budget is. You can get some pretty good rear wheels for cheap. I'd recommend going to tartybikes.co.uk, seeing what they have in stock. I'm pretty sure you could, I'm not sure if you still can because I haven't worked there for a while, but you could get replacement rear wheels for Onza bikes pretty cheap. So maybe just worth getting a new one. You really need to kind of decide on your own for that one, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to get close. I actually need to go to the opticians because my eyesight's really bad. I've got my phone literally just a foot away from me. I can still barely read what you guys are saying here. I do wonder sometimes what my riding would be like if I could actually see. I am legally, not legally blind. For driving, I legally need to wear glasses because I'm really short-sighted. I feel the Danny generation is becoming the Ali generation. Doesn't it work the other way around? Like, I can't, because I'm older than Danny, shouldn't it be the other way? I don't know. Thanks for that though. Maybe. I'm not sure if I agree with you. Nils, do I know TMS? If so, what do I think about that? TMS is in T-Bone Mario Sport, the bike brand. Yes, I know of them. I've met T-Bone Mario, nice guy. I think I've met, no. Who have I met? No, I've not met T-Bone Mario, but certainly he is one of the guys I looked up to when I was younger. I don't know so much about their bikes. I've not ridden any of his models or really seen them close up personally, but they seem pretty decent. I've seen riders do some really good stuff on them, so yeah, no doubt they're good bikes. The only thing I would say about somewhere like TMS is they are, I'd say, more of a competition brand, and historically competition brands don't necessarily get street riding and don't necessarily get really what a street trials bike needs to be. So whether they are as good street bikes as it could be, I don't know. Like I said, I've never ridden one, but yeah, I'm sure they're not bad. Fabian, hello from Italy. Hello to you too. Go through these. I've got my cup of tea as well. Greetings from Canada. Well, greetings to you too. I'm so pleased that so many people are joining me from all over the world. It's actually really, really cool. Joshua Shepherd, will I ever do a dirt jump bike build? Well, yes, not any normal dirt jump bike build. I've got something pretty interesting planned, plus something else which kind of is pretty much that. But yeah, I've got something coming. I may have made an eBay purchase, which is gonna go on this bike. I'm borrowing a frame off someone. It should be really interesting. You won't expect it. You won't expect it, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Jim, what do I think about the Inspired Flow? Hello. Oh, I thought that's the same guy. Hello from Norway. Hello to Norway. What do I think about the Inspired Flow? Great. Like, if you want to get into trials, what you need is a bike that's going to be reliable, probably as much as anything else. So a lot of other brands may have cheaper bikes, and I'm sure they ride well, but they've probably scrimped somewhere on the components. Now, the Inspired Flow may be a little bit more expensive as a first bike, but actually I feel you end up saving money further down the line because they fit parts on it which aren't going to just snap on you. So other brands will try and make their bikes a lot lighter or hit a lower price point, a lower budget, and then they compromise on parts, they break, and you have to spend more money to replace them. Yeah, the Inspireds are pretty much as perfect as you're going to get for a first bike if you want to get to street trials. I mean, even they're so capable to even someone who's been riding for years, so yeah, really good bikes. Kanokistan, oh, not sure how politically correct that is. Right. There's a question here. I haven't read it all, but let's see. Hi, Ali. Would you rather fight a bear after drinking 1 litre of whiskey, but you get a pistol as a weapon with 1 bullet, or fight a bear with a Rambo knife after 1 gram of coke? Oh my goodness. Well, I don't drink or do drugs, so I'm pretty sure I would be losing either way. 1 litre of whiskey. Oh my goodness. Is anyone actually going to still be conscious after 1 litre of whiskey? Yeah, I wouldn't want to do either, but I'm pretty sure I'd be unconscious if I drank a litre of whiskey, so make up that decision on your own. And not that I'm condoning any act of drug taking at all. Chris, yeah, custom light. Pretty stoked on that. I was going to save a office tour video for a later date, and I was actually going to not switch that on because I was going to keep it secret, but it's in the background anyway, even when it's off, so I'm sure you guys would have noticed it. But piece de resistance is it's voice activated, so well, with Alexa. So Alexa, switch off the logo.
Okay.
Pow. Stoked. Alexa, switch on the logo. Alexa, switch on the logo.
Okay.
There we go. Bit temperamental. But yeah, I'm stoked on the sign. There's a few other things. Like, Alexa, switch on YouTube mode.
Okay.
And is that gonna work? There we go. So we've got a light back there as well. So is that distracting? Shall I switch that off? Alexa, switch off YouTube mode. With the logo on or off. And Pete Downing, yes, this is my Christmas jumper covered in Brussels sprouts, hence the name, which I didn't actually get. Jane actually had to point out the joke because it's a Christmas jumper, Christmas trumper. It actually went completely over my head. And she says, oh, Christmas trumper. That's funny. I was like, oh, I get it. Yeah, okay. Alexa, switch on the logo. Let's leave it on, shall we?
Okay.
How do you say your name? Benabis. What is my reasoning behind not drinking? He finds that interesting. I don't like the taste. I have tried a few drinks. I'm not necessarily against the act of drinking. I just have not found any drink that's alcoholic to be nice tasting. And I don't see the point in drinking a drink I don't like to drink. I have been drunk a few times, but as I've got older, I've decided that I also really don't like the sensation of being drunk. It may be fun for a little bit, but I kind of get tired of it pretty quickly, and then you can't just switch it off. You just kind of got to go with it, and I don't like that lack of control. So, yeah, non-drinker here. My tea's getting cold. Sam, yeah, avid fan and subscriber. Thank you very much. Hope you're having a good Christmas so far. Now, I've actually missed quite a few questions here. Let's go back and see a few. Drink my tea before it gets cold. So yeah, thanks once again for joining me. If you're just joined in, life's got in the way for this week's video. Lots of DIY going on, still transforming the house. So we've kind of done all the DIY for this room. There's still some storage to come, which is why it's not finished. We've finished the hall out there. We're just doing the lounge and stuff now. So we're still doing the DIY. It's just taking up so much time. I never want to see another paintbrush in my life. Let's see here. Ah, cute thief. You've been summoned. Come here. He's in a little hammock next to the. Whoop. There he is. Hello. These guys want to see you. Oofed. So the cute thief. He is actually a cat that just appeared at the house one day. I have this kind of knack of going places and black and white cats kind of just appear. So he's not technically my cat. However, we have taken him to the vet. He does have a chip, but this was before summer. The vet took our details, tried to contact the owner, and simply hasn't been able to get through, or like left loads of messages, loads of emails. The owner hasn't been back in touch. So we spoke to the vet, and yeah, technically we could claim this cat as our own. We could get the chip, it sunk down a little bit. We could get the chip details changed and put our details in, so we might do that at some point. The vet told us that his name is Kev. I'm not sure if you have Kev, are you? But he's actually one of the best cats ever. He's so chill, even though he's frowning quite a lot. He's just like the nicest little guy, and he's handsome as anything, aren't you? So he's going to appear in more videos, I'm sure. So he's very well trained at stealing bike parts for me, and he just chills in a little hammock by the side of the table here, which is nice. So yeah, let's see what other questions here. Just get my tea down me while it's warm. Michael, can't wait to see me riding the Hex. I know, I actually went to Unit 23 the other day. I took the camera to try and make a video, but I was actually feeling so rusty. My shoulder's still a little bit sore. I didn't really feel up for riding. Plus, it's actually quite dark in there. I struggle to see with my short-sightedness, which I mentioned earlier. I need actually pretty decent light to be able to ride, which is why I never ride at night, because I can't see anything. My what's it called? I can't judge distances when the light is bad. So riding at night, it has to be really well lit. Otherwise, I have no idea where my wheels are or the objects are in space. So one day I might get contacts or something. I really do wonder what it'd be like to ride when you can actually see stuff. That would be nice. Right. Gonna go through a few more of your questions. How long have we been on here? So we've been on for 16 minutes. My live videos always end up being really long, so I don't want to go on for too long. I'll tell you what, I'll show you the cat again once I finish this tea, because otherwise I'll never end up drinking it. Going back to the drinking, explosive notes, yeah, he says, I suspect many people don't like the taste of booze, except they just suffer through it to get drunk. Yeah, no doubt. It's the same with a lot of stuff. Maybe they don't like the taste, but they end up thinking they like the taste just because they went through a period of going through the horrible taste aspect. I just can't be bothered. Like, to me, I don't feel drinking is going to enhance my life anyway. Let's put it that way. It saves me a lot of money. But yeah, no hate to anyone who does drink. I've got plenty of friends who like to drink. My dad likes good drink. He drinks respectfully. With respect, what's it called? I can't remember the word. Instagram brain for you. He doesn't drink in excess. He likes a good quality drink. So he's always been trying to get me to drink like these wines. He says, this will be like one of the best bottles of wines you'll ever try. It's just like, it tastes like crap, Dad. I'm sorry, Dad, but yeah, the wines really don't taste good. Let's see here. What is the upcoming collaborations? I'm so bad at organizing collaborations. Like, I know it's one of the things I should be doing to grow the channel, but it's not that I'm antisocial. It's just that I have this awkwardness that, to me, going and organizing something with another person, I don't know, I'm a bit too shy for that, I think. But not to say I won't do it. There's definitely some people out there that I would like to do videos with. I just kind of need to think of really good reasons to get in touch with them and good ideas that would make them want to be involved. So until I do that, no collaborations, but there will be some once I'm brave enough to ask. Yeah. Right, Mr. Kitty. I always call him Mr. Kitty. I don't know why, because, well, we didn't know his name for ages. So we just called him Mr. Kitty because we didn't know how long he was going to hang out for. So we'll see how long he hangs out for here, holding him here. And the cat should have his own channel. What do you reckon? Get your own YouTube channel. I was wondering about an Instagram channel, because he is cute. He does really cute stuff, don't he? So he's actually really sleepy at the minute. So this is probably, he's a little bit more docile than normal. He doesn't normally like to be held quite like this. Responsibly. My dad drinks responsibly. That's the word. Thank you. A bike question. What do I think about the MT7 Pro? Right, well, as I'm sure a lot of you know, I'm a big fan of the Hayes brakes. They're by far the best brakes I've ever run, so I would say get the Hayes if you can. However, the MT7s are good brakes, no doubt, because so many people run them, Danny, Duncan, everyone. The thing I like about the Magura brakes is how strong the caliper, he's struggling a bit, how strong the calipers are. Oh, it's biting me. Hey, gonna bite me. You're gonna bite me. Is how strong the Magura calipers are. Basically, they'll survive any amount of abuse. You gotta put through them within reason. Nothing's indestructible, but as far as calipers go, they're some of the best calipers out there. I've never had any stuck pistons, any leaky seals, or anything like that. So as far as brakes go, they're some of the best calipers out there, but they're let down by the levers. For mountain biking stuff, they're actually fine. I do find the return spring in the lever is very strong, so it actually gives me arm pump more than other brakes do. And I do find the levers are very weak. Unfortunately, they will break if you crash. But it's not a case of if they all break at some point. Eventually they kind of will break if you crash a lot. I've even broken them without crashing, which is pretty nuts. So I've not done myself any kind of favors by not running Maguras, but for me, I would rather have my bike work exactly how I want it to work than get free products. So I could get free Magura brakes, but I actually bought my Hayes brakes just because I think, for me, they work better. So that's kind of my view on those. Mr. Kitty, what's going on? You're going to bite me again? You're going to bite me? What do you reckon? Get your own YouTube channel. It's actually getting a little bit heavy. It's a bit on the fat side. I'm not sure you can see. But yeah, I'm going to put him down. Don't want to annoy him too much. Right. Jack Lemon, who's better, George Thompson or Ewan Beaton? They're both great riders in their own right. I've been impressed by the growth from George recently. I've known Ewan for longer, so I've always known Ewan to be quite a good rider. George, I didn't know as long as Ewan, and maybe I've not been following as long, so it almost seems like he's come and surprised me a little bit with his ability, and the more I see him ride, the faster he seems to be learning stuff. Like he learned flares the other day, he's learned hop whips and stuff, so he seems to be learning really, really fast. It'd be interesting to see where he goes in the future. Ewan does some really interesting riding. He does some really big stuff as well. I've ridden with Ewan quite a few times, and yeah, the guy can go pretty big. Maybe not as technical tricks with like more BMXy style tricks like George is starting to get, but yeah, great riders. I need to go and hang out with those guys a little bit more. See, again, just apologies if I'm missing any questions here. You guys are great. There's so many questions, so I'm just going to go back a little bit, see if I can find any that might have slipped by. What do I think about the BT Raven Revival? That is a real old school. So if you guys are new to trials on here, you may not know the brand BT. They're Polish. You'll have to correct me on that if that's wrong. Trials brand from kind of like the early mid 2000s. They're kind of ahead of the curve in a few ways. They were one of the first brands to make like super long trials bikes, like 1100 mil wheelbases. They actually did a bike with some of the shortest chainstays, shorter than any other bike had at the time, and also was one of the first bikes to kind of experiment with high bottom brackets. The BT Ninja was an extreme geo bike, and I'm pretty sure I slagged it off a few times for being too extreme. But no, I think it's great to see an old brand like that kind of come in, and I think there's there's gap in the market for a kind of heavier TGS lower bottom bracket frame. There's kind of nothing on the market like that at the minute. Everything's kind of super light comp weight with high bottom brackets. So yeah, they might not make £1 million from selling frames like that, but there's definitely a hole in the market for it. So I think it's cool. And I know a lot of people liked the old BTs, so it'd be cool to see them back out again. Rewind a few minutes for Cat, yeah. There's going to be a lot of requests for Cat, I'm sure. Mr. Kitty, Kev, the cute thief. What do you rather he's called? I find it weird calling him Kev, because that's what someone else called him, and he doesn't seem like a Kev. So I just call him Mr. Kitty, unless he's in the video where I call him Cute Thief Mark II. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue though, does it? Thoughts on tan walls versus normal walls. I'm a big tan wall fan. I've actually ordered some tyres off AliExpress, some Maxxis Icons, the same tyres I'm running, but in tan wall. I have to wait and see if they're the real deal when they arrive, because they're rare as anything. I'd be gutted if they're fake ones. So as soon as they arrive, they're going to go on my bike, because I think tan walls look awesome. Stan Simpson, how's it going? Ben Abyss, yeah, Collab's group rides are the best. I actually find group rides really hard to film. Group rides are one of my favourite things to do, but one of my least favourite things to film. What I really would need is someone to come along with me and be the dedicated filmer, because when I'm there, I find it awkward if I don't know everyone's name, and I'm really bad. If you've ever known me, you know I'm so bad for forgetting people's names. It's one of the bad behavioural aspects I have, is that I don't pay attention enough to people's names when they introduce themselves, so I forget people's names, and then you know what it's like time goes on and you don't want to ask them. So when I'm making a video, I feel weird if I'm filming someone and then they get in the video and I'm like, I don't know what their name was. That's really weird. I think it'd be really good to have someone who is a bit more outgoing and bubbly and kind of interacts with people a bit more than I do, because I am socially awkward, and have them do the filming to catch the whole day, and then I just edit the fun bits. Because I want to ride as well, and when you're doing a group ride, it's kind of hard to ride and film and get all the banter, which I'm not very good at banter, get all the banter and get a good video out of it. So yeah, group rides, I love doing them, but I hate filming them. So if anyone at a group ride wants to volunteer and film, or even if I just say, here's a camera, film it what you want, and then I'll edit at the end, maybe that's a way to go with that. Let's go through a few more of these. Okay, what's on the dog? What's on the dog? What's on the dog? Being in the UK, what are my thoughts on hope brakes? He's got some now, but considering moving to TRPs. I've never tried the TRPs, so I can't compare them to those, but I'm gonna go against the grain. I don't want to burn any bridges, because who knows what hope will make in the future. Currently, I'm not a big fan of hope brakes, I'll be honest with you. They are super well made. I can't fault how well made they are. They are some of the better made brakes out there, but I almost wonder whether that goes against them in some way. Certainly the trials brakes I've had in the past have been very temperamental. I've had a lot of stuck pistons where it kind of goes out an angle and then doesn't want to retract or go back properly, then your pads rub like mad. I've had loads of, well, not loads of leaking, I've had a couple leak, but not loads. And for some reason, the trials brakes, I used to run them as my front brake for years. There wasn't any other option really, other than Avid BB7s, which are also really good. But Hope brakes, they had almost like a 6-month shelf life for me. I'd run them, and then the power would just go downhill, and nothing would get the power back. I don't know whether it's because I dragged the brakes and they don't like being dragged, but even changing pads, changing rotors, bleeding them would never get the power back to what they were. So what I would do is I'd buy a Hope brake, run it for 6 months. When it started to get rubbish, sell it and buy a new one, which is not very good. I've not run Hope brakes for years, so maybe they're better than what they were, but I wonder whether they're so well made that the tolerances are almost a bit too tight, and any dirt or grit that gets in there kind of just gets them jammed up. This is just theory, I don't know what the deal is with them. Other than the trials brakes, the normal mountain bike brakes, including the downhill brakes, I find pretty underpowered. They're just not that powerful. Good for modulation for mountain bike and stuff, but for me, for just wanting bite and sheer power, I've never found Hope brakes to give me what I want, which is a shame because they're made just down the road from where I used to live. Loanis, beating myself up with the social skills, maybe a little bit. I am self-deprecating, is that the word? A little bit. That's just in my nature. It is. I'm not an unhappy guy. I do struggle with social aspects quite a bit, and I'm sure some of you know I was diagnosed with Asperger's. It's not something I want to go out on about too much, but it does explain maybe my social skills or lack of sometimes. Like I am fairly social. I will go to a group ride, I'll talk to people. My confidence since starting these videos certainly has got way better. When I was younger, or certainly even 5-6 years ago, before I started doing these videos, I was a different person. Honestly, I wouldn't even go and talk to anyone. But these days, much better. These videos have a lot to thank about that. So yeah, I'm doing myself a bit of a disservice, but I still find it a little bit awkward at times. Dan Sacco, Christmas trumper. Maybe it's just an English, British thing. But when you eat a lot of Brussels sprouts, like we've got here, you fart a lot. And in the UK, a fart is called a trump. So rather than a Christmas jumper, it's a Christmas trumper. So it's nothing to do with Donald Trump. I was a bit confused when I bought it as well. It actually took me, well, Jane, my fiance, to explain it to me. So yeah, don't feel bad if you didn't get that. But if you're not in the UK, maybe it doesn't make sense. Let's see here. Joel Driver, you seem quite normal. Well, thanks, I am quite normal. There's no such thing as normal, though, is there really? Everyone's got their own little quirks and things going on. I would say Asperger's, probably so many people have some kind of Asperger's or autism on the scale somewhere, but no one will know about it because they act normal. They are normal. It's just for certain situations, someone with Asperger's or some kind of autism might struggle a little bit. So, yeah, I am normal. Okay. Clarkson again. How's it going anyway? I hope you're good. Love the riding. Long frame, short stem, or short frame and long stem if you had to choose anyway. Long frame, short stem, definitely, which is kind of what I did with the arcade and Hex. I guess it's not the longest in the world, but the whole point of kind of the arcade was to go longer so you could run a shorter stem to be easier for BMX tricks. Because that's kind of what BMXs do. They have long frames and stumpy stems. So a bike will ride way better, I think, if it's slightly longer with a shorter stem than a short frame with a long stem. I mean, I don't know how trial stuff will be changed with it, but I still think you may as well just go for a longer bike, and then with a short stem it will ride well. If you need it to be longer, just stick a long stem on, and then you'd be good for trials there anyway. So, yeah, longer wheelbase, that just means a long reach, because the arcade was still a fairly short bike. My Hex is still a fairly short bike, it just has a long reach. What's on the dog? Yeah, you're having the same experience with your Hope brakes. Yeah, I do find a lot of people in the UK are die-hard Hope fans, and Hope can't do any wrong, but I don't think I'm the only one who says that the brakes, they're not quite there. I think they could be there. Maybe they just. I think with the trials brakes, they need to have maybe a nylon seal or some kind of plastic seal that can squish out of the way if there's any debris in there. I think they've got CNC alloy pistons, and I think that probably goes against the brakes a little bit. Thoughts on Joachim Lundgren's riding? I know I'm saying that name wrong. I hope I'm saying that close enough so people know who I'm talking about. Amazing. His riding is unreal. On the Hex, unreal. But the thing that really blows me away with his riding is just how good an all-round rider he is. So he kills it on the enduro bike. Like, he's really fast, smooth, stylish on that bike. On the comp bike, he can go bigger than any rider I've ever seen. It is insane. And he's really, really good on the BMX as well. Often you get people who have ridden comp trials, they can't transfer onto like BMX or street trials and have a nice style. Comp riding generally gives a certain style which doesn't look that good on a street bike. Sorry guys. But no, he transitioned over and is smooth, stylish, goes huge. I'm really interested to see where he takes his riding. Definitely go check him out if you haven't seen him. Do I have any tea left? I'm getting a bit of a dry throat here. There we go. Right, we're at half an hour here. I might actually set a 15-minute timer because I don't want to get these going too long. So we'll put my little egg timer on there. It just means that when people are watching these videos back that it's not daunting. ISO 0, brown sauce or red sauce? I really don't like brown sauce, so easy red sauce answer for you there. I don't know many people who don't like brown sauce, but it's never done it for me. Never done it for me. How do you say your name? Strumland. Sorry, I hope I said that right enough so you know who you are. When did I start riding? When did I start taking it seriously? I guess that's what you mean. Seriously, 1996. Because I was certainly riding trials before I knew what trials was, and in 1997 that's when I first saw that kind of magazine that explains trials, and I was like, oh, that's what I do, I'm a trials rider. So I guess 1997 was when I started calling myself a trials rider, but I was riding trials without knowing it for at least a year before that. So 1996 I guess is my starting point. 1997 is my starting point for competitions, which I did for over a decade. Go through here. How are you doing, Mr. Kitty? You all right there? So, oh my goodness, I would say your name, but I would absolutely murder that. But you think that the arcade is the most unique geometry for 24-inch. What do I think about the new geometry like Sky, Czar, Extension? Basically, I think they've tried to copy what Danny ran, and Danny being a little bit shorter, I think he's 5'7", runs a shorter bike. I think people didn't really, brands kind of just copy other brands and don't really think about why they're copying it or why that bike is the way it is. So the Sky is Danny's bike. It's exactly what he wanted. He wanted a bike that short, that geometry, it works for him. Great. I do see a lot of tall people riding bikes from other brands, even the Sky, because they want to ride like Danny, but the bike just doesn't fit them. And I think a lot of these brands just offering the one size because that's what Danny runs doesn't do people probably as much justice riding the bikes as they should be getting if they actually had a bike that fitted them. How long have I known Duncan Shaw? Oh, quite a long time. So Duncan and I met doing the British Championships, I think. I'm sure he may have even come and done some of the tyke drive comps in Yorkshire as well. But that's probably early 2000s. My parents knew his parents from the comps. So yeah, like we didn't know each other. Like we didn't go to each other's houses. We kind of didn't really ride together other than at comps. But we knew each other. We were friendly with each other. So yeah, we've known each other for, oh goodness, not far off 20 years, which is insane. There was a gap when I stopped doing comps, which I probably didn't see Duncan for a few years there. But yeah, no, we've known each other for plenty long enough. Not too long though. I hope we know each other for many years to come as well. Let's see here. Thorfinn, how's it going, dude? What is my favourite dinosaur? Isn't there a dinosaur called the Allosaurus or something? I'm pretty sure there's a dinosaur with Ali in it. You'll have to, I'm sure some guys in here will know about dinosaurs. Which one is it? That's my favourite because obvious reasons. Ali's just the best name. What's the ticking? The ticking is this guy, whoops, because I always go on too long with the live video. So I set an egg timer. I'll put it over there where it's probably going to be a little bit quieter because, yeah, can you imagine that was a little bit distracting. It was actually quite close to the speaker there. Sorry about that. Okay. It's a time bomb, yeah. Yeah, Thorfinn, what's your favourite dinosaur? I'm going to go back. I'm sure I've missed some of your questions. Thanks once again. I know I'm repeating myself a little bit, but thanks for joining me. Last minute video here because DIY is getting in the way of life in a minute. I haven't ridden my bike that much because of the shoulder, which means I can't go out and film riding bikes for you. The garage is full of stuff and some interesting bikes for some bike builds. Keep your eyes peeled. And then, yeah, just loads of DIY. So we're doing a live video, but things will resume back to normal once the house is done. So some lovely comments here, people saying they love me and stuff like that. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it. There's one thing I really like about basically this community on Facebook and stuff, on Instagram. Everyone's so nice. That's one thing people warned me about when I was starting YouTube, that, oh, be careful of all the negativity you're going to get. It's going to be brutal. I've hardly had any. It's been a wonderful experience. You're all so kind to me. So yeah, thank you very much. Canon, have I or will I ever come and ride in the US? I have once. I went to Sea Otter in California, rode, oh, what's the bay called near Sea Otter? Oh, it begins with a C, I'm so, Calgary Bay? No, I can't remember, you have to let me know, correct me on that one. But yeah, I've ridden there. We were going to ride San Francisco, but didn't end up doing that. I had to leave a little bit early, which was a shame, but no, I think there's so much untapped riding in the US because there's so few riders over there. There's going to be some amazing riding. I would love to come over, but not yet. Travel is just insane at the minute, so yeah, one day, I would love to. It's like my bucket list to ride some of the places in America. Looks great. John Shrewsbury, how's it going, dude? OG in the house. When we're coming down south again, need to get another ride on the beach. Well, once the house is done, I'm gonna sell the Mazda. I'm gonna sell the MX-5. Yeah, I know. I love that car. I really do love the car, but I need a van because at the minute that car is not the most practical for a mountain biker, and having a van would allow me to get on more road trips. Now that I've had to give the motorhome back due to basically the COVID, the fact the motorhome factory shut down, there's a shortage of motorhomes, I had to give it back so they could sell it. A little van just to get around the country, road trip, go meet some people. Next year is on the list once the house is done. So yeah, next year I will come down and see you, John. I will come down and see you. Monterey Bay, that's the one. Why? Doesn't start with a C at all. Guess it's next to the sea, if that counts. But yeah, I've ridden kind of around Monterey Bay. Pink Bike did a little thing on it, so that was cool. Serge, how are things with Cirque du Soleil going? I remember I trained some scary stuff. Well, that was a weird one. That wasn't necessarily training for me to do Cirque du Soleil. I think they asked me if I wanted to do it, but it's a huge commitment. It would mean basically emigrating to Canada. I think I'd have to pretty much give up these videos, and it would be a brutal schedule, absolutely brutal. Plus, I was actually terrified of the thing they wanted me to ride, doing that up to 3 times a day with no safety nets. Oh, nah, not for me, not for me. And that's kind of why I was there helping with Cirque du Soleil, was to figure out whether that contraption, the death wheel, I'm not sure if you've seen it, where it's that the 2 wheels that go around and people are running on it and jumping. They wanted to know if that was doable on a bike, and potentially yes. It is terrifying, absolutely terrifying. It's hard as well. It's not exactly like something you just get on and can do really easily, especially riding inside the thing. But you're basically on something that's like, I think it was less than a meter wide. Spinning, you have to control your speed to match it, and it's then going like 40 foot up in the air, and it also wobbles quite a lot. Yeah, no thanks. I'm not sure what they did with that in the end, whether or not they've scrapped the idea or couldn't find someone willing to do it, but yeah, I was there basically just to test out to see if it was actually doable. But yeah, rather you than me. Paco Trials, do you think my 690 engagement rear hub would work for a comp 20-inch trials bike, Krukers in particular? Keep up the videos, you're amazing. Thank you. Yes, I think it would work brilliantly. The only issue would be on a 20-inch, you'd run a 12-tooth cog on the back. Can you get 12-tooth cogs, single-speed cogs? I'm pretty sure you can with a wide base. That's the only thing you'd need. But yeah, if it works for street trials, I know some people have used them on their Krukers 26-inch for comp trials with no issues. I see no reason why it wouldn't be an excellent hub for a 20-inch bike. I mean, who doesn't want 698 engagement points? And it's pretty lightweight as well. It's actually a very lightweight hub. So yeah, I think it'd be an excellent option. Ewan, how's it going, Ewan? Ewan Clegg, been in a few of my videos. I'm sure you guys have seen him. Any place in the UK I'd love to ride but haven't yet? Well, when I did my North Coast 500 road trip last year, we went up onto the North Coast and saw some amazing looking rocks up there. Unfortunately, we went up there, myself and Jane, when in the middle of some storms. Like there's like 3 storms in a row or something. It was like almost 100 mile an hour winds. It was insane. So I couldn't ride. Did I have my bike? I think I did have my bike, but you just couldn't ride. But the rocks up there were amazing, so I'd love to go ride those rocks. I haven't ridden Reading Street yet. I'd like to ride Reading. There's some places down south I'd definitely like to ride some more, or at all. I haven't ridden yet. Yes, there's definitely some rocky places I'd like to ride, and some places down south, including Reading. I know Reading is a real popular place to go riding. So yeah. Let's see here. So Adam Moffat, what do I think about the Onza Zoot? So that's one thing that I mentioned earlier when someone was asking about the Inspired Flow, that the Onza Zoot is a cheaper bike. They've hit a lower price point with that, but this is where the example of reliability comes into play. To hit that price point, it's maybe not as strong. Certainly, I think the frames, they ride pretty well, but they're not the strongest. So it'll last you a little bit to get into riding, but if you're a heavy rider or get into advanced, heavier, bigger moves, it probably won't last you that long, whereas the Inspired, it will. It'll shrug it all off. Yeah, cute thief, how's it going? What's he up to? Yeah, he's a cute boy. Yeah, Joel Driver, that video of my North Coast 500 trip was cool. Yeah, so my hat fell off in the wind and then Jane, my fiance, had to chase after it for me. I'm glad you liked that video. I'm actually so proud of that video. It's one of the best videos I think I've ever made. Because it wasn't biking content, it didn't actually go down that well, unfortunately, but the people who did see it liked it, so that's fine. And it's also something I can look back on in the future, which is really nice. So how long we've got left? Timer is saying, ooh, just under 5 minutes, so just a couple of questions left, guys. Sure. Has the cute thief stolen any bike parts for a new bike? Yes, he's been super busy, which is probably why he's so tired and chill at the minute. There's almost four bikes worth of stolen parts. They're not really stolen. In the garage, this guy's gone and got me some really interesting ones. One of the bikes I'm going to be building, I don't have it yet. It's going to come. It's been probably the most requested genre of bike to build, so I'm really hoping you guys like that one. I hope I like it as well. Can I recommend Shimano Saint disc brakes for street trial? The older ones, yes, definitely. They were some of the best brakes you could get for years. The newer ones, the calipers don't seem that strong. If you do get a where's it going? If you do get a Saint brake, make sure you get a super strong adapter for your frame. Basically, the stronger the adapter, the less flex is going to be, the longer the caliper will last. Where's he up to? Because yeah, the newer ones can snap, which is the only reason I would say hold off getting those. Get some Hayes brakes instead. They're the best. Joseph, any chance of seeing another GT build again? Yes. Let's put that there. Yes, maybe there is something coming very soon on that front. Something quite interesting. I'm actually quite excited about it. So yeah, you'll get a GT. Again, what's in the dog? I've mentioned previously about concern about breaking cranks, and he's saying that he's never broken any unless they're carbon. Have I broken quite a few, and if so, how? Have I ever broken a set of cranks? I don't think I've actually personally ever broken, like actually snapped a pair of cranks. I think I've bent some, I've twisted some, I've twisted axles, but I've never fully broken a pair of cranks. Maybe I'm smooth, I don't know. Well, there we go. Right, we're just going to answer this question then. But no, I have seen enough broken axles from other people to kind of put me off certain types. So aluminium axles, I'm still a bit nervous about aluminium axles on my street trials bike. With doing drop and roll shows, I do a 12-foot drop up to 3 times a day. Having aluminium axles snap when doing a big drop, that's a broken ankle. So to me, I want to err on the side of caution, and I would rather run a steel crank on my trials bike. And that's also why I don't run carbon cranks on the trials bike as well, because I know riders have broken carbon cranks riding trials from drops and so on. Some big names have. So to me, I'd rather have slightly heavier, more reliable cranks than some lighter weight ones, which is annoying because SRAM don't make their steel axled cranks anymore, which was my favourite. Although now that Shimano do spiders that can be removed, I need to Badger Inspired to make a bash guard to fit those, because they still run the steel axles. So maybe that's the next way to go. But yeah, I've never broken a pair of cranks myself. So I think that's going to be it, guys. Just going to run through here, just make sure there's not like an absolute gold question that needs answering. Okay. How long do I think I need until I get a bigger house? I may have to start building some outhouses or something like that. It's been very productive. Right, okay guys, I'm gonna leave it there. These videos always end up at 50 minutes, oh my goodness. Right, well thanks so much for joining me. Hope some of these answers were entertaining for you. I hope you learned some stuff today, and yeah, I really appreciate you joining me. We'll be back to normal service next week. I have a video already half filmed for that, and after that, like I mentioned, we've got some bike build videos. My shoulder is starting to feel better. I can like lift it up above my head without too much pain, which is nice. Just need some nice weather so I can get out riding. In Scotland, easier said than done. So yeah, thanks again for joining me. Have an amazing weekend. I won't personally be talking to you like this before Christmas, I don't think. So yeah, have an amazing Christmas, no matter where you are. So yeah, see you later everyone. Thanks again. Bye-bye. How do we close this?